everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how I've made some really cute and super easy to make key rings just using some felt and some HTV. So these are what they look like. They're really easy to make. All you need is a split ring key ring, some felt and some HTV in your materials. They're so easy to make. If you've got a class of school children or maybe like a scout troop or something like that you wanted to make these for, they would be so easy and quick to make a bunch of, or if you're selling them they'd be great for craft fairs and things like that too. I have put this design on my Cricut profile page and I will share with you in the video how to find the design, and please feel free to use it. All I ask for in return is that you hit the like button and maybe consider subscribing to my channel. So let's have a quick look at what materials we're going to need and then do our design. Just gathered together all of the materials that we're going to be using in this particular project, so I'm just going to go through those with you now. So I've got some glittery silver HTV here, then I've got two different blades. This one is the rotary blade, and as you can see it's not a quick swap housing, it's a permanent housing that it's in. And then I have my fine point blade that comes with my machine. Then I've got myself some small split rings. These are 25mm. There's 10 in this packet. They are from Wilko, as you can see, and these were £1.60. I have two different colours of red felt. This is a little bit thicker than your normal felt and it's stiffened. Then I'm going to be using my Cricut Easy Press Mini today. I have my glue gun here as well, and then I've got two different cutting mats today. I'm going to be using the fabric grip mat, which is the pink one, and then I'm going to be using a light grip Cricut cutting mat as well. The first thing that we're going to want to do today is find the actual design that we're going to make. These are going to be available on my Cricut Design Space profile, so I'm just going to show you that now. If you go onto a blank canvas like this, what you're going to want to do is go up to these three lines in the corner and you're going to want to click on Home. Then this is the page that you'll see with all the different featured images, your projects that you've done and all that sort of stuff is all going to be here. There are videos and different ideas for you to make with your Cricut. But what you're going to want to do is go into the search images, projects and profiles bar and just type in my name, press enter. Then you get lots of different results here. You'll want to go down to the bottom and find me. On this one here, I keep saying I'm going to try and change my profile picture. I'm going to do that today, so hopefully when you come to look for me, I'll be there for you to see me. So on here you'll see all of my shared projects that I have got through Cricut Access and the Cricut community, and this is the one I'm going to be doing today. This might look a little bit different when you come to do it because I'm going to try and put a photograph of the finished project up there. So once you've found the project that you'd like to do, if you just click on it and then the information will come up about it, and then click on customize. That will now put that onto our canvas ready for us to use. So there we go. What I've done with this particular design is just made a blank one here for you to use. You can duplicate this and personalize it however you wish. Then I've also done three different ones here that are ready made, so you're welcome to use these. Everything that I've used in this project is free on Cricut Access, so you won't need to pay anything to use these images. The font and everything is all a free font, so it's all very basic. If you've got a Cricut Access subscription, you can jazz it up yourself and put in different fonts that are chargeable, but I've just used free ones so that everybody can use my design. So I'm just going to hide this one out of the way just by clicking on there. So now I've got my three that I'm going to make today, and I think what I'm actually going to do is make them all the same. So I'm going to change the colour of this red one. I'm just going to do that by clicking on this little red square here and changing it to white. Then I'm going to change this heart to be red. What I'm going to do now is cut all of these out, so I'm going to show you how we set up our mat on the next page. So let's click on Make It. on the Make It screen, it's showing us what we are going to be cutting out using the Cricut machine today. So I've got 3 base layers, which are the white ones. Those are going to be cut out of the felt. And then I have the red mat here, which is going to be cut out using the HTV. I'm just going to go through to continue. Now we need to set our base material. So what we'll need to do is choose felt. So I'm going to go into Browse All Materials. Once you're through to Browse All Materials, just go into the Search All Materials box and type in felt. And then there are a few different options here. I am going to choose acrylic felt today and click on done. The reason I've chosen acrylic felt over the stiffened felt option is because even though this is slightly stiffened, it's not overly thick or overly stiff, so I don't want to put too much pressure down on the mat. So now on this screen it's telling us that we need to load our rotary blade into clamp B, load the mat, and off we go. So let's do that as our next step. We are going to be using the fabric grip mat today, so let's just take off the cover. And I do tend to keep this cover specifically for my fabric grip mat. So I've just placed my felt onto there, and I'm going to just get my little brayer. Here's my brayer, and I'm going to give that a good press down. There we go, that is attached now. I'm now going to pop the rotary blade into my machine, into clamp B. Let's hop over to the machine and pop this in, and I'll cut these out next. First thing I need to do then is pop my blade into my machine. So it's really simple to do. Pop it in, close the clamp. There we go, that's done. Now I'm going to just grab my mat, and I'm just going to insert that by pressing the insert button. Then I'm just going to press the flashing go button. As you can see, the machine spins the tool around in the carriage to allow it to cut the felt. Just before I take it off the mat, what I want to do is check that it's cut properly. So I'm just going to lift it up in one corner and give it a little pull away, and that is perfect. As you can see, it's cut really well. Now we can eject the mat. Because we're going to be using a different material for the top layer of the key rings, what I'm going to do is change the material on my screen now. So if you just go over and hover with your mouse over where it says felt, it will bring up your base material settings again. So you'll be able to choose any of these that you've got on here, and I'm going to go back onto Browse All Materials again. So I'm now going to just search for iron-on, and it brings up all of the different iron-on settings that you can choose from, and I'm going to be using glitter iron-on today, so I'm going to choose the glitter iron-on setting and click on done. And I'm just going to pop my iron-on onto my mat and get that ready to cut. I've just got my light grip mat here, and here is my HTV that I'm going to be using today. So with HTV, it's important that we get it stuck down onto the mat the right way, and there are 2 different sides to heat transfer vinyl. As you can see, this one is a very shiny side, and then this side is a lot duller, and this side is the adhesive side. And of course this adhesive doesn't get activated until it's heated up with a heat press or an iron, or a clamshell heat press or something like that is what you'll need for this project. But you can use an iron if that's all you've got. So what we need to do is make sure this is the right way around. So because we need to mirror our image, which we'll do on the screen in a moment, we're going to just pop this down shiny side down. And Design Space does actually remind you of this on the screen so that you won't forget. It does say make sure mirror is turned on and iron-on material is face shiny side down, which is what we're going to do now. So let's pop it into the corner of our mat. Try and get it as straight as we can. I'm going to just put the whole piece down because there's no point in cutting it. I might have to use some masking tape just to hold it because it's been rolled up for so long that it's going to be difficult to stick down. So what we need to do now as our last setting change on here is mirror the design. So if we go to edit, and then at the bottom here you've got this little toggle switch next to where it says mirror. If we just flip that to on, and you can see it has reversed the design, so when it cuts out it'll be the right way around for us to apply onto our keychains. So now I'm just going to put this into the machine and swap my blade. So my rotary cutter blade is still in here. Let's take that out, and we're going to put in the fine point blade here. As you can see, the flashing light is still on for the insert mat. Here is our mat with our HTV on it. Let's just insert the mat. Everything's mirrored, everything is set, and off we go. Now that everything's cut, we just need to do the weeding. So I'm just going to take this off the mat first of all, and then I'm just going to trim off the excess from the piece of HTV. I'm going to be careful that I don't cut my designs. I can just about see where they are. And then we can just take this piece of felt off of the mat, and there are our base layers for our keychains. Let's just peel them off. They've cut really nicely. I just need to open my split ring packet. I'm just going to take one of these, and what I'm going to do is pop my ring on the centre of there before I put my HTV on there. So what will happen is that will go on there like that with the design on there. So let's just grab my HTV. We need to weed this now, so I'm going to use just a normal Cricut weeding tool for this, just this one. Now I've got 3 designs all weeded out to get rid of all our bits. I'm just going to cut these into individual designs. Just be careful not to cut into the hearts. Okay, so what we're going to do next is pop one of these onto our heart, just like that, and that's how it's going to be stuck down. So let's get the mini press and get that warming up. Before I start to apply my hearts onto my felt, what I'm going to do is go on to Cricut's website, and I'm going to look for the heat guide on here. So this is the Cricut website. If you scroll straight down to the bottom, you come to the heat guide there. And now you can work out your settings that you're going to need for your particular material. So we are going to be using the Easy Press Mini today. So we're going to click on that. And then we can come down a bit further and we can select our heat transfer material. So click on the drop down, and I'm using the glitter iron-on today. And then I am using felt as my base material. I'm going to apply those settings. So now it needs to be on low for 30 seconds. So let's pop the heat press onto low. I'm just going to leave it there to warm up. So what I've done with this one is I have put the split ring on already. It doesn't really matter whether you do this before you put your design on or afterwards. I'm going to do this one with it on and see how I get on. So this is my heat press pad that came with my bigger heat press that I use. Okay, I'm just going to wait for my mini press to get its temperature sorted out. Just while the heat press is warming up, I'm going to just use it to warm up my little felt heart. And what this does is just takes the moisture out of the material that might be there and just stops it from stopping your HTV from sticking. There we go. We can now place our HTV where we want it to be. So we want to make sure we've got it nicely positioned. And then I've got some heat resistant tape here that I'm just going to use to keep my design in place. I'm just going to get a couple of pieces of this there and there. It's just there to hold it into place. So the heat press is now ready. It's got its little green light on and it's ready to go. So it's 30 seconds. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just give it a good press down, and I'm going to keep it moving the whole time that I'm doing it. I'm just looking at the timer on my actual camera to count 30 seconds. This iron-on is cool peel, so it needs to really cool down before we peel back that backing sheet. There we go, that's 30 seconds. Need to give it a good while to just cool down. While that one is cooling, I'm going to do another one, but I'm not going to use the heat resistant tape on this one, and let's see how we get on. So first of all, let's get rid of all the moisture by giving it a little heat up. Let's pop this on. Okay, and then again another 30 seconds. Okay, there we go. Let's move that one out of the way. I'm just going to take off my heat resistant tape, and I'm going to flip my design over, and I'm going to just give it a press on the other side as well. So there we go, that one should be done. Just going to give it a couple more seconds to cool down because it is warm. These two should be nice and cool now. Let's peel this back. And this one. Once you've taken off your backing from your HTV, the next step, if you haven't put your little key ring on, is to put that on. So I find it's easier to just bend over my heart and just pop it on like that. Then what you'll need to do is get your glue gun. Just take that off its stand, and I'm just going to glue over here. I don't want to go too mad with the glue, but I do want to make sure that it's going to stick nice and securely, especially around the top edge there. So I'm just going to move my ring out of the way, and I want to get it lined up nicely. There we go, press it down. There's one. I'm just going to do the same with this one. Just going to line that one up again. There we go. And they're all done, and don't they look lovely? So there you have it, a super easy and quick way of making some personalised key rings. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, I'd love to see you again for the next one. So don't forget to subscribe. Drop me any questions or comments that you might have down below, and I do always try to answer them as soon as I possibly can. If you have learned something new today, I'd love it if you'd hit the like button so that I know that you have learned something and that you've enjoyed this video. And all that's left to be said now is have a great week, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye!